What's up guys, my name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. So, today they finally uploaded the new version of Optifine 1.16. I've been waiting 1 to 2 weeks for this now since the update, but they've actually updated it a lot quicker than I thought they would do. So, we actually have on the Optifine website a Minecraft 1.16.1 version. So that's good news for anyone who has a bad PC and needs to use Optifine to get more FPS, or if someone wants to stretch out the graphics of Minecraft and use Optifine for that method too. It's also great news for people who want to use shaders on Optifine, which I'm going to show you tomorrow in another video. So tomorrow I'm going to do a tutorial on shaders, which I will do at the end of this video. So let's get into how to install Optifine 1.16. Okay, so on the website we have the standard versions here. Okay, there's a lot of different versions, HD Ultra, and as we scroll down we can go really far back, all the way to the old versions. Optifine supports all the way from 1.7.2 all the way to the newer versions of 1.12 all the way up to 1.14.4. Now what's really weird is Optifine was available for 1.15 as well, but for some reason the 1.15 version does not have a section on the website. The 1.15 version is still a preview, because if we click the preview here, this little button at the top, it will unveil a few preview or beta versions, if you like, which are in development. So we have a few different preview builds. Now we have two here, and you can see the release date was actually yesterday. So this is brand new. Optifine just got released last night basically, which is why we're doing the tutorial as quick as possible, because I want you guys to be able to use shaders and stretch out your game's graphics and frame rate. So we're going to download the newest one, which is Pre 2. And this is the HD Ultra Pre 2 version. Now you can click download if you want to support them, but you will have to go through an ad. I personally don't like ad file links, so I'm just going to click mirror here, which will go to the direct download, and just press download preview. And it's really simple to set up Optifine. It's a really simple process. So we're just going to click keep below here, and this is another one of those things, a little bit like Minecraft Forge and Fabric, where the jar that you're downloading is actually an installer, so we don't need to install it in the mods folder or anything like that. We just open it up and it will automatically install everything for us. So just go ahead, if you're on Google Chrome, just left click on the download down here, or open the jar file you just downloaded in your downloads folder if you're not using Google Chrome, and you'll get this screen. So it says Optifine HD Ultra G2 Pre 2, which is the newest version. Make sure it says 1.16.1. You might have accidentally downloaded the wrong version, so make sure that's correct. And the folder should point to where your Minecraft install is. Now by default this is the right location. The only difference is my username will be your username on your computer, but this is the correct location. But if you installed Minecraft onto a different hard drive, external hard drive, or some kind of USB, then you will need to change this to your location if it doesn't detect it. But if you're on a normal C drive and you've left everything on default, this should be the correct location for like 99% of you. So it basically installs Optifine into the vanilla Minecraft launcher, and it creates a new profile Optifine for us. So I'm just going to click install. You can extract the files if you want to do it manually and install the profile manually. You shouldn't do this, it's just overcomplicating it. Just press install, and it's a really quick process, and it'll install everything. As you can see, in seconds it's installed. Optifine is successfully installed. So just press OK and it will close automatically, but don't worry about that. What we can do now is we want to go to our Minecraft launcher. So jump into our Minecraft launcher, and we should have a profile greet us as soon as we get in. Boom, so we've jumped into the Minecraft launcher, and down here where the profiles are in the bottom left, the default profile, which should be automatically selected when you launch the Minecraft launcher, should be this new Optifine 1.16.1. If this isn't already set, then something may be wrong with the installation, or you've installed the wrong version, or it hasn't installed correctly. It should automatically be selected. If it isn't though, do make sure, just click the arrow and go down the list and make sure that Optifine is or isn't on the list, because maybe it might not have selected it, but it might actually be installed. So if it's not selected, you can probably find it on the list, but for me it's Optifine 1.16.1. Now you may have older versions of Optifine. I did have a 1.15 version I think, but I think it's overwritten it. So now the version is now 1.16.1. So if I click on the installations and click on Optifine 1.16.1, you can see it is the Optifine 1.16.1 profile. But you don't need to do that. When it's selected, you can just press play once it's selected in the bottom left, and we can jump into Optifine, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of all the features and options and how to use them. I'll also give you a little bit of a tour of all the shaders which I actually have installed, just to show you what it's like playing with shaders. Okay, so we're now in Minecraft, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check out the options and show you everything and all the features. Okay, so we're in game. You can see I actually already have a new texture pack already activated, so things look a little bit different to vanilla. But as you can see now, in the top left, we have a few different features which you'll notice are a little bit different to before when you were playing on vanilla. So the features at the top, we have the FPS and some different values at the top as well, which keep changing. So you can see it's showing the FPS and it's showing all these new values. That's an indicator that Optifine's working. That's some default things that it adds to the HUD. And another indicator is if you go into the options and we go to video settings, which we can actually change everything in. So in video settings we can change everything like graphics, and usually there's only like 5 or 6 options in here, but there's a lot of new options. With Optifine you should have some new options, which should be quality, performance, other, animations, details, shaders, and also I think dynamic lights, although I'm not sure if that's an Optifine feature. So if we go into quality, this is where you can really optimize stuff. So we can turn the custom skybox on, we can modify connected textures, which a lot of texture packs that require Optifine make use of. This is why this is really useful if you're using one of those texture packs that needs connected textures and Optifine support, like the Fulbright mod. I made some videos on how to install XRAY and the Fulbright mod, which required Optifine, and a top 10 resources pack video where some of them needed Optifine but it hadn't been updated yet. So this is why this is so good that now we can use it. You can mess around with custom fonts, enhance the snow effects, and turn on certain different textures on quality settings, and you can disable and enable these. You can also go into performance, so you can turn on smooth FPS, and when you hover over something it actually gives you an explanation what it's actually used for and why it's there and what the option does, which is really cool. And we can mess around with a lot of different things. Then if we go to other, we can turn on the lagometer, we can show the FPS, which is already on the screen. This is how you turn it on and off here. We can turn the debug profiler on, we can set an automatic autosave timer, which changes the frequency upon when the world's actually saved. I wouldn't personally mess around with that, but that's a pretty cool feature. We can turn the weather on or off for the client, which is the player. Obviously if you're on a server, other people will still be able to see the weather, but these are just kind of miscellaneous features. If we go into animations, this is what a lot of the texture packs and shaders will actually use, specifically the shaders, because we can turn on and off enhanced animations. So we can make the fire and water have animations or turn them off. And we can also turn off animations for things like particles, like explosions or portals or lava. So we can disable and enable things. We can put the particle level to all, which is the max setting, decreased or minimal. So if you're having lag, you can turn the particles to minimal or automatically turn them on or off. And there's buttons to turn all off or all on as well. So that's a really nice feature to fine tune everything. Now next up is the details. This is probably what will actually get you the maximum FPS if you mess around with this. So you can turn the sky on or off, the sun or moon. You can make the fog effects better or turn fog off or make it fast. You can change the effects of the trees, and it shows you that fast is lower quality, fancy is the highest quality, for an example. We can change the clouds on or off, which is on by default anyway. That's the default option. And we can mess around with lots of textures. Now animations is really useful as well. So these are some real intricate details that you can mess with and modify your game with, and this basically just helps you get more FPS from your game. So as you can see, I have some pretty nice looking things right now. I'm just going to make the weather on clear, and you're probably wondering why the world looks so different and why it looks really nice. That's not just because we have a different texture pack, because you'll see all the lighting and different effects in this world are a lot different to how they should be. Now this is because the world actually has some enhanced features from Optifine now. You'll see that the water was a little bit different. This is a parkour map where we have all different corridors and sections, which is a really fun map. I've used this to showcase in a few videos. But let's just go back to the water. This water is not how Minecraft's water usually looks. This water is a lot different. This is because I'm actually using Optifine shaders right now, and you'll even see the sky looks far better, and the lighting on all of the blocks and reflections just looks so much better. This is the power of Optifine shaders. This is what I'm going to show you in the next tutorial how to install. This is the power of shaders. So if you want to see how to install Minecraft shaders, then do check out the next video, which I'm going to release tomorrow, because the shaders will make your game look so much better and just enhance everything visually. So I'm going to give a quick example of one of the shaders. I'd recommend installing shaders if you want to do anything cinematic, like do some kind of video or really nice screenshots of the game, and you can use the shaders in multiplayer too, so it just makes the whole experience better. It looks a lot nicer when you build a really cool structure and have some shaders which make it look nicer. Okay, so let's trial a few of these different shaders which I already have pre-installed, and then I'm going to show you how to install each different one. So as you can see, we're just on this default shader which I was using last time. I did do a video on the top 10 shaders, so that's why I already have one activated. And in Minecraft 1.15 in Optifine, I'd already enabled shaders, so it's kind of just automatically doing it for this version. So currently, if you press escape and then go to options and then video settings and shaders, this is the one button which we didn't press last time. It will actually load this menu. Now you'll see it did a little bit of a loading screen. Now I'll load this little menu, and don't worry if you don't have any shaders on the list. That's going to be something we're going to do in a few moments. I'm going to show you how to install them. These are all the shaders on my list. Now you'll see I have a lot of different shaders here, a lot of different kinds of shaders, a lot of different ones that I downloaded, and we can also mess with things like anti-aliasing, render quality, shadow quality, and different lighting effects, and it'll also show you your video card. So if I just turn off shaders, it'll go through a loading screen process every time you toggle on or off shaders, and I'll show you the standard Minecraft. This is Minecraft without shaders. As you can see, the performance is exponentially better. It's on around 200 something FPS. It's just crazy how much of a difference it makes when we don't have shaders on. But if we turn shaders back on, and let's just turn on Chocopic 13 shaders, which are some of the most popular ones, so that should be a really good trial to actually test out. So we'll enable these shaders. As you can see, we now have shaders once again toggled. Now if we press escape and we go back into the shader section, you can see that we actually have this Oceano shaders mod installed. Now note that each different shader has different options. So in video settings, some shaders actually let you turn on or off a few different things. So as you can see, I turned down a few of the different video effects, and now the shader does not look as good whatsoever, but it literally halves the amount of frames which we need to use. So I'm going to turn all of those things back up and turn up the quality again. It's the render quality that matters. The things like shadows aren't too important, but the render quality is what makes the shader itself look the best. So now the shader is looking good again. Now this is probably not the best map to show you the shaders on, because this is a really complex map. Okay, so as you can see, we have the shader in action now. So for some people who get some lag issues, which is something that I was having as a problem near the start and center of this video when I was showing you these shaders, is something which can be fixed. So if we go into the options and then go to video settings and we go into quality and we go into performance, there is something here called smooth FPS. You want to make sure this is turned on, because if it's not turned on, it will make everything lag really badly. I've just found this feature just now and I've turned it on, and everything's running so smoothly. The frame rate is around a constant 60, which is really nice. This just kind of caps off your frame rate at an even rate. I'm pretty sure it just does the same as VSync, but everything's running really smoothly and you can see all the shaders look amazing. So this is a different shader. I'm using the Sonic Ether shader right now, and as you can see, the water just looks crazy good. This is the kind of water that you want to screenshot in Minecraft. This just makes the graphics look so nice. So now that I've shown you how to use shaders, how to remove the lag if you're having lag problems, and mess around with the particles and quality, let me show you how to download the shaders. So first of all, we're going to open up our shaders folder before we download anything. So go to options and then video settings and shaders, and click this button here, shaders folder. And when you click that, it will actually open up the shaders folder on your computer where we can actually install shaders into. Now you'll see I already have tons of shaders in this folder from doing videos in the past. You won't have any of these, so I'm going to show you which websites to download it from. So the primary website which I've been using for this tutorial every time Minecraft updates, and just generally for Optifine for a very long time, is this website called Shaders Mods. I'm not sure if this is the best place to download shaders from, but for me, I've always never had any problems on it, and I've downloaded some really nice shaders off here. So as you can see, we have lots of different shaders. I did have a video which I made, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago, on the top 10 shaders for Minecraft, so I'm going to link that in the description below, just so you guys can watch it and have a good idea of the best shaders which you can download. Basically, all of those shaders are in this list here on this website, so make sure you watch that video if you want some recommendations and a showcase of each and every single shader and how it looks in game, so you can pick out which one looks the best for you. A lot of the different shaders have totally different looking water, they have different animations, the lighting and shadows are different, so you might want to watch that video to find the one that you like the most. So let's just do an example download. So I'm going to go to Plunder Pixel Shaders, and this looks pretty cool from the screenshots. I'm not sure if this is the best or not, but there's some really nice screenshots here. It looks like it's a really nice shader. And sometimes it will say for 1.12 for an example, we're on 1.16, so you may think that it's outdated. But just click download. All of the old shaders mostly work for the new patch. So it'll take us to this Plunder's Pixel Shaders, and it says game version 1.7. This is a really old shader, so it may not work great, but we can still use it with Optifine. Some of these old shaders are for the old GSL Shaders mod, which is now part of Optifine, which is Optifine Shaders now. So some of them are a little bit outdated, but for the most part they should work. So I'm going to go in my downloads folder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and press cut and go back to the shader packs folder we opened from in game and paste this in here. And I already have this installed, so it will ask me to replace the file, so I'm going to do that. If it's fresh for you, you can just paste it in with no issues. And now when we go back into Minecraft, we'll go to options, video settings, shaders again, and find the shader which you downloaded. If you haven't got a big list like me, which you probably haven't if you're watching this tutorial, then it should just be at the top of the list. For me, Plunder Pixels, what I've just downloaded, is here. So I'm just going to click Plunder Pixels in the list, just left click the shader in the list, and it will activate it, and this is the Plunder Pixel shader. So this is what we've just downloaded. Personally, I think this looks amazing. There's a lens flare onto the screen from the sun in front. So this shader adds lens flares, it adds a glare from the sun which changes in which direction you look at. It adds really nice shadows on the ground. As you can see, there's a lot of shadows here and reflections from trees. Some of these shadows don't entirely make sense, but for the most part it looks really nice. And obviously it's getting nighttime and you can see the reflections. There's very subtle light rays and shadows coming from the moon over there as well. So we're just going to set the time to day, and this is what it looks like in the daytime. And the shader looks like this in daytime. You can see the reflections in the water. I think the water in this shader is not as good as some of the other shaders, but if you look, there's very subtle waves. The water's always different in every shader, and one thing I like about this is some of them have different reflections and some of them have really cool features. You can see there's actual ripples and waves in this water. It moves up and down, and it actually has real water animations, which is something you don't see in the normal Minecraft game. I think that makes it look so much nicer, and it kind of retains to the vanilla style because the water's still dark blue, so I really like the look of that. So that's how to install shaders, really simple and straightforward stuff, and how to install Optifine. I hope this mod tutorial was really useful. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and share it with any friends who want to use shaders in Minecraft. If you need shader ideas on what to download, check out the top 10 shaders in the description. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.